sound so far that I never get the wrong question. That person request, I find that.
Good evening. Bruchim Habayim. Praise Him b'chvei Achsanya. We acknowledge and thank very much Rabbi Rosenfeld and Ola from Olateda for allowing us the opportunity to gather here tonight in the home in Tinshin Am Allah, Arichas Yom B'Shan Tevis, lange gesunde friedliche Jahre. Ekinus l'shem shamayim. By definition, the vessel that this kinus be one, that be productive and bring about a true kiddush shem shamayim. We begin with a tefillah l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu Barucheinu Avinu Kulanu Ke'echad. In these final darkest moments of Galus, we call out from the depths of our heart for the bracha that we succeed in our sacred mission. He would protect it. Er wird es gehitten. Mit Baba saying, dass gewähnt werden, Details der Sache. Wird weggegeben sein Leben. Als keiner soll zu dem stehen, nicht zu reden. But time came to pass, and as he grew up, life situations, he kommen die Probleme vom tagtäglichen Leben, und mit einmal macht sich ein Problem, und eine sehr Schwierigkeit. Und hebt und suchen Tachbulis und Eitzes. And he starts seeking advice in all directions to his everyday life challenges, to his challenges in this youngest, sein tagtäglichen Leben. Den ganzen vergessen. Der Charakter von dem Evan Joker, was liegt bei ihm, behalten seine Eitzes, was es great bei ihm ist, aber geben sein Leben auf dem, bis ein Tag ist gekommen zu einem Achaber an Notietät. Ich sehe, du bist das einzubrochen. I see life is taking a toll on you. I see your problems, your challenges, your trials and tribulations, of sehe deine Zorres, dein Barfen. Du weißt doch nicht, was liegt bei dir behalten. Do you know what you have in your treasures? Du weißt, wie deine Eltern haben mit dem gelebt. Dein Seide, wenn not a cookie ton of them, Evan Yoker. All of life's challenges, every situation, jeder, Zorah Shloi Tovei, mit Amol ist beim Geboren nichtig. Du hast einmal Atrach getan to do that. The matana of our gathering here tonight is for one and only purpose, let it be clear on the onset. Everything that will be shared here tonight, alles was me geht or reden heim Nacht, ist ein und einzige matana. Ish esre'eu yazeinu la'achiv yoiman chazak. Wir gehen sich einen und dem zweiten chazig sein. Der Mann, einer bei dem zweiten, unsere Nonte Chaverim, Chassidim ein Mishpache, wir seien ein einzige Mishpache, Bnei Av Echad Kulonu. Wir gehen ein mit dem zweiten der Mann, auf dem Evan Jokor, was liegt bei bei jedem von uns. Dem Eben Jakob von Teire, von Chassidus, dem Ewigkeit. That when we only look in that direction, mit Amol, wird bei uns lichtig. Life becomes clear. We have direction, we have clarity in every situation that we might find ourselves. Nicht looking Sophic. Geishach Agolus is a Geishach Kofel Mechupel Verrednach. Dem Geishach Kofel Mechupel Fahr, dem Eir HaGeula, was wir wissen, dass der starts the Geishach before the crack of dawn. We experience an unprecedented, unimaginable darkness that charges at each and every one of us. Ein bias, asher ein sham the nisyenis from Geishach Agolus. Nobody is immune to the challenges of Geishach Agolus. Whether it's the clip of the world without or the challenges within, we are all experiencing it. The pain, the anguish, the suffering, the tzadis, yokim va'anocha, was Geishach Agolus bringt mit sich. But let us remember that we are not only those who carry and have in our possession this Even Yaakov, but we were charged, we were given the achrayus and the schus to proudly hold up that Even Yaakov, das Aufheben la'eir la'goyim. We were the ones, lo yalpim chiraseinu, lo yibirseinu. No one chose to be here today in Deir Hashvi, the day that will usher in the Geula and hold the torch of Torah and Yiddishkeit for the entire world to follow. But if we are here by definition, that means that we will carry that awesome responsibility. Tonight, will wir sich einen und zweiten mechazik sein. Lechazik und lehizchazik. Wissen, wo man steht und vor wem man steht. Was wir haben und was wir dürfen sich teilen mit der ganzen Welt. There's no other agenda. Von dem heiligen Abend wollen alle rausgehen. Mit einem starken Gefühl von Aschreinu, Matei, Chalkeinu, wir seien die glücklichsten der ganzen Welt. Die Lichtigkeit, was wir halten, ist nicht nur etwas an ein Ruchni, was trockt ist in der Kia Shvi. Das ist an ein, was macht lichtig unsere Leben mit Chaye, Yem, Kipshutei. But to recognize that in it lies, dort liegt der Ein. Kol HaTshuves al Kol HaSha'ailes liegt bei uns in der Hand. Yes, every question and every answer is there in our possession. So the aim is to get that as we all are here tonight united with one and only mission. Ritzeinu durchführende Kavanah. We all stand united and connected, telling the Rebbe that this sacred mission that you have charged us with, you knew who you are entrusting this Even Yaakov. If the Rebbe gave it to each and every one of us in Deir Hashvi, the Rebbe knows our trials and tribulations, the Rebbe knows what we gain durch. Nonetheless, the Rebbe has perfect faith and trust in each and every one of us. That we will do justice to the empowerment that we all have. We will live up to it in our own personal lives. We will be a light unto our neighbors and friends. We will be in a way of Chsidamei Mishpacha, not only tonight, but this is the new motto, this is our vision, this is our focus of attention. To see that we share that light, we illuminate our surroundings, we live with the Eid HaGeula that we are about to experience and recognize that the entire world is waiting for us to show the way so that they can follow. We begin with inviting, we are very privileged and honored to have here tonight, the Rebbe's Chayzer Rashi. All the years as Deilu Mashke, from the Rebbe's Teira, to the Chassidim, to the world, sharing the light of Teres Achsidis, Mashpia Roshi, Temchetrim Amerikazis, Rav Rabbi Elkan.
Einer hat einen Geschmack in der Hand. Der Väter hat den Geschmack, nach Kabbalah. Der dritte will Kabbalah verlegen, aber erkennt es, verlasst es. Wenn ich das Simche, wenn ich sage Simche, hat lernen Teilen, und dem kein Mensch zu sein, hat Simche. Im ersten Fall versteht hat sein Lernen, hat Geschmack für zu lernen. Geschmack für den Gemorre, hat Geschmack am Ende, hat Geschmack. Im Mittel träge Geschmack, kein Mittel wie jeder zu tragen. Das zweite ist nur Kabbalah selbst. In Deutschland der Chor weniger Geschmack. Sagt nein. Das ist dann ist Chayain gewesen, dann ist Chamayin gewesen, Retzharum ist Chayain, ist das Chayain Verstand, das soll gehen. Mein Montantani kommt in Gaschens. Ja, in der Sache Geschmack ist. Man versteht, was er tut, das Geschmack ist. Mein Montantani, na, das ist Kabbalah selbst. Doch die Gemara, Aboi gewinnt das Simche, Mischlero, Simche, bin es Chayain, ne, gewinnt. Das ist die Gemara. Was man gesagt, bin es Chayain, Jain, Samechel, Timanaschen, das ist aber auch nicht die Simche. Wo ich bin der Simche auf dem Mann. Und man hat gesagt, bescheid der Mensch weiß und versteht, weiß kein Mann nicht wissen. Nein, das ist nicht die Simche. In Kabbalah selbst, mein Gott. Aber man kommt zu der dritte Tag. Er will können, die Kabbalah selbst. Das ist der Scheiße Simche. Das ist der Rebbe, ja. Das ist der Rebbe. Und man hat mir gesagt, bescheid sich der Katov, was ist nicht? Bescheid sich der Katov, Charton und Kolam. Und der Rebbe hat die Becher genommen. Und hat das Sort gesagt, aber viele über wilde Chopres, keiner recht nicht, dass er die größte Glück bei ihm. Er sagt, tiefe ist Kaschel. Er sagt, tiefe ist Kaschel. Jedem kann gerne Klotze gehabt, nicht im Siebel gefällt. In der ersten schreibt der Rebbe, was er Chasser lehnt, und in jener Kabbalah. Was der ist, was er ist, das ist die erste. Nachher schreibt der Rebbe weiter. Потом в Каббале это катваше, в котором дахнуть играть, вот перстит Тане, а der Rebbe церкви фомаби, песен колой колой, пашки все. Nachher schreibt er weiter. Kdei la hat er bewedet, ja betet er sein Geringer. Hat der Rebbe zum Sack geworden. Asho Chassid, Heinu, שנשמס יפרט ונשמס את זה ככלל. ובעד את הפרט ונשם כללת. אם חסר את הדבר בנשם הפרטית, זו חזקה שלת ומתרבנו, נמשך לכל החסר לנשם הפרטית. weiter. Aber da rechts. Weiter hat zum Satz. Am Mitzvah, was ja Mitzvah, was sagst du, was wir uns nicht, was nicht, was ist das? Na, was denn? Das Frauen, das ist ein Menschen. Aber gehen zu, ich rede in der Fall, aber das ist ein Mädchen. Das ist die Paste der Kinder. Aber hier soll das Paste betrachten. Und wir haben mal und die Multame, die Garben sind geschehen. Und da habe ich gedacht, und geht er Leben früher. Was ist das manchmal? Das ist der Fakt. Das ist nicht der Person, die mir sagt, mir geht es beruhigt. Aber das ist der Fakt. Das versteht in Tanja. Sadike Statern Bachaye, das ist der Fakt. Und das wird beklaut sein. Und wir fragen am Red und Rei Yisrael, das gibt es nicht. Rei Yisrael, die Porte auf Simmeris. Und wir fragen am Red, in Rei Yisrael, du, für der Rebbe muss der Mutsprache. In Meinung von Hofgeschmack, auf dem Rebbe nicht. Aber dort in die Welt erfahren, was beten nicht, und der Rebbe ist nicht beglaubt nach tun. Und Jutsch wart, hat der Friedrich Rebbe beglaubt nach ihm. Der Kleber, das war nicht ein anderer. In dem Fall, in Mama schlieft er, aber da hat er befreit. Bin versucht. Er darf doch wissen für ihn. Das darf auch, darf doch wissen wo kennen doch wissen? Wo kennen doch wissen? Wissen, was kann gehen zu mir und Bettner brach. Das ist noch was. Ich rede nicht von Bettner brach. Da hat er mir will doch wissen. der einzige Ried bei Jeden, was hat er gesagt, Alter, was hat er im Koran. Und er wächst und er gelebt im Ebersten, er sehr stark, er musste die Bedicher sein. Ich habe gedacht, das musste die Bedicher sein, wahrscheinlich ist der Maßen. Also ich werde nicht aber um gedacht gehen, so von vorn mit der Wagen, der Hecht, der hat gehinterher, Quartett mit dem Wagen, nein, geht so. Sagt der Ried, was war mit dem Wagen, und er geht er auf zum ersten Tag hinter, der gehabt. Was ist das mehr? Ja, das ist ein Lacher. Und gleich will er dem Lacher, der ist vorn zu Wagen, nicht dass ich sterbe, aber wir geworfen im Lacher. Vorn der gelassen, die Tomre, was hier soll ja kann. Er kann mit dem Mal, ja, schreit Rad, das hat er was warum der Lacher. Das mein Lacher. Mein Lacher ist Bode kommen muss es sind aber frei. Nein. Die hinzulag dem Lacher. Das hat nicht gehört. Das lag die Gola für alle. Nein. Zu der Amal der Hund will dem Lacher. Oder sagt der Stefan Problem schaffen und nehmen nicht werden. Oder das ist man nein, aber das hat sie nicht im wirklichen was. Das ist Ruchen nicht gewachsen. Aber das ist immer gut nicht gewachsen. Von daher, dass wir ruhig gehen, das wird wir haben gelernt im Frieden. Geht kaum machen, was wir schwierig passt. Und was man sich verbringen muss. Und das ist verbringen, der Vorhin zu der Sache. Nicht reden die Narrenstecken, nicht reden die Stüssen. Da darf man reden. Ab der Siede, der Peel, Mann. Und an alle Sachen, und das gewinnt alle Inselbeamten und der Rebste tun durchgetrieben, die haben die gerechte Kirche, und sie dann darf man sein zufrieden, und das arbeitet, aber das ist und nicht suchen, dass keine Schlüssel nicht und den Koch muss nicht die Schlüssel nicht gekommen, weißt du? Nein, ich habe der Geist auf nicht das Fälle wollen.
Der Shekeach, Rabbi just a very brief summary of what we just heard in English is to recognize that ideas of Chassidus are not some truism that exists in some world, but this is reality. Every letter of the Rebbe is something that can transform our lives. It is not that we have to seek avenues or tools and skills to be able to access and go to the light of Chassidus. The Rebbe is here for each and every one of us to connect. The idea of Yazid Say Marisa means that the Rebbe is da for yet the environment. We felt dishonored. We somewhat lost touch with feeling confident with who we are and what we represent. But these are all the nisyenis that did not happen by chance, that Eibush Tefir developed. We all believe with perfect faith that everything is with a kavanah. And if we are all gathered here tonight through an experience that aroused our attention, that we look deeper within ourselves, of introspect, of seeing who we are, what we have and what we represent, this is all with a kavanah. It's not about pointing fingers, chas v'shalom, that's nonsense and stupidity. That Eibush da gefiert, dass wir sollen alle sein daheint. And we can lose focus of our destiny. This is an awesome opportunity. The generation that carries the light despite the cheshach kafel and mechubel from Galus. Each and every one of us was given the unique opportunity in our matzav to illuminate our environment, to transform this cheshech layla kayim yoyer, to transform the cheshech into eir, as the Rabbi concluded. There is no doubt that as we stand on the eve of Chavdalat Tevis, right in a few days, what better time is it for Hasidim to resolve that we connect to the Torah of the Alter Rebbe? Let's think about the gift that the Rebbe wants to give to each Chassid. How many times did the Rebbe hand to each and every Chassid a Noshim, V'Taf, Sefer HaTanya? Once would have been enough. We would get the message. Tanya is something the Rebbe holds so dear, and I want you to take this and live with it. But the Rebbe did it once and twice and 3 times. Not only Tanya, Kitzur V'Aris of Tanya. And the Rebbe hands us and says, here is Kol HaTshuvas and Kol HaShaylas. You need nothing, no other answers, you need nothing in your life. Don Nadir dein ganzen Leben an Lichtigkeit. We owe it to the Rebbe and say, Rebbe, this precious gift you gave us, we live with it. Every page is torn because it is something that our lives are imbued with. It's not something that we live for ourselves, but our children, our environment, see that Tata lebt, that Mama lebt, that Tanya. Can there be a shul in this community that doesn't have a kniyas of Shir Chassidus, not only Shabbos morning in the Torah of the Alter Rebbe, but throughout the week? And as Rabbi Yel mentioned, Chassidische Farbrengen must be real. A Chassidische Farbrengen is not when we open up a sefer and read out of a book, is that going to inspire the youth? Is that going to ignite souls? Let us recognize what Chassidish Farbrengens were created for, that those truisms that we learn in Chassidus are translated into an experiential level. As Noled Medem. We translate it into our day-to-day challenges. Yes, let's be honest. Let's allow ourselves the vulnerability to open up and share with our Chavedim. Ich hab durchgelebt dem Woche schweren Besoyen und a Dank a Perik in Tanya. A Dank a meine Chassidus. Why do we feel comfortable to call a friend and say, I've got back pains, you've got a good chiropractor? I've got some challenge, a health issue. Can you refer me to a good doctor? But where did we get lost in reaching out to our Chavedim and saying, Epis geht mir nicht, Epis in Diamond. Gute Reimer, can you refer me to a good Geschmack Reimer? I need some boost to my Shalom-Bayis. Wo kann ich sehen, wo ist eine Sache, was kann ich dir heben zu einer höheren Lichtigkeit? The Lichtigkeit that the Rebbe sheds light. To recognize, yes, in this final moments of Gullus, there will be Nisyanis, and the Rebbe acknowledges, you're not alone. Shalom Bayis is a universal challenge we all experience. And the Rebbe explains why, from a very practical perspective, the most challenging time in a Yiddish shtub, when Shalom Bayis can sometimes get iffy, is Erev Shabbos. It says, we find ourselves today in Elef Hashishi. It's a global challenge. We're not alone. And the Rebbe has a formula to tell us. It's not about getting a tip here or a tip there. Let's get it straight. Our marriages were made in heaven, and we spend our lives making it work. That not we survive through it, but we thrive each and every day from it. It's something that is inspiration to our children and our families. That's what Chassidish Farbrengens must look like. It's what Rabbi Yel is calling us. To recognize that we must shift gears, get real. A Chassidish Farbrengen must be one that everyone gets up and is charged up with empowerment to make it real in their lives, to take the ideas of Chassidus and make it real, experiential. This is the energy that we are here today. This is the achlata of this Asifa, one of the achlatas. If we're celebrating, if we're experiencing 200 years, at least 200 new shiurei Chassidus. Multiple shiurim. Tanya will be the program for life for each and every one of us. index in Tanya. I didn't find that index. I didn't find in the Mafteach, Shalom Bayis. I didn't find addiction. I didn't find my day-to-day challenges. The Mashpiyim have to allow us to appreciate that when it says Kol HaTshuvas HaKol HaShaylas, it has no expiration date. It has no limitations. There's no stars there near Kol HaTshuvas HaKol HaShaylas except for question 42, question 69, and 73. Those answers you will find elsewhere. When the Alter Rebbe writes Kol HaTshuvas HaKol HaShaylas, it means B'yoyilai U'makidai Ko'amina. The Alter Rebbe knows each and every life of us. Each and every one of our lives. When the Rebbe hands us a Tanya today, the Rebbe looks us in the face and says, Nadir, here is life. What was yesterday's Shir Tanya if not talking about Ribui B'Amim? What is that if not an addiction? The language. We have to translate the language and bring it down to our day-to-day experiences. There's nothing that is short of us recognizing and seeing the answers in Sefer HaTanya. So that English together, that this awakening is something that we will not only respond to in a positive way, but this will bring a total new wave that will transform Adas Chassidei Chabad the world over. We carry the greatest Evan Yokan Shebekeser HaMelech. We will share it with ourselves, we will share it with our environments, we will share it with the world. Where is the world looking today for direction if not towards Chassidei Chabad? What are the shluchim of the Rebbe doing all over the world? If not sharing the Rebbe's light and the Rebbe's Torah? This will surely be Geinem and Achas Ruach L'mayla, that we will be all Kalim. To the Barcheinu Avinu, the Rebbe will shower each and every one of our efforts with tremendous bracha and atzlacha. We will see Pritei Ma'amaleinu. We will see literal live transformations in ourselves and our environments. We will all experience not only Geulas HaPrat, but collectively Geulas HaKlal. We now have the very privilege and honor to call upon a very special Eirach that came specially for this Kibbutz. The Rebbe Shliach, Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshiva Zeir Al-Chanan Chabad in Los Angeles, California, Harav Shachat. We ask Harav Shachat to address us in English.
I don't have much to add to what was said, except maybe carry us down to a little lower level. Because we have to deal with the lower level. We just read in the Parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu asked, Mama Reis Lomazeh. And the content of the question, the Pashtus, is that you sent to the Shlichus, you tell them that the Buddha is here, the Buddha is coming, maybe he's going to take you out of Mitzrayim, and the Bnei Yisrael believed him. They had the Munah. And not only did the Gula happen, but it became worse. I made no claims. They came with the kindness that Moshe Rabbeinu was at fault, because he came and he spoke to Pari, and that was making Pari angry. And it's a Chil Hashem. That not only did I'm talking about the Shlichus from the Eibishter himself, through Moshe Rabbeinu himself, the Moshe embassy to Los Angeles. And not only did it become better, but it became worse. What wanted David to answer him, Ata see. And now you're going to see. Okay, it's explained because the Golas had to become worse. David did a chesed instead of 400 years to make the Golas only 210 years. So he made the worst Golas in order to be able to shorten the Golas. How does that answer the Chilul Hashem? Said Moshe Rabbeinu, after the Golas become worse, make Paro, make Zayers before Moshe Rabbeinu goes. Before Moshe Rabbeinu arouses the emunah of all the Yidden, and all the Yidden are waiting. Oh, now Moshe Rabbeinu came as a shliach from the Eibishter himself, and the Gula is going to happen now. Let the Golas become worse, and then send Moshe Rabbeinu. So it won't be a Chilul Hashem. If the Golas, if the Eibishter want to do a chesed, so why do you have to be with this Chilul Hashem? What's the answer to the Chilul Hashem over here? The human mind usually works. There's certain things I understand, there's certain things I don't understand. This is the way it's supposed to be. The Eibishter can do whatever he wants, and that I understand. And when the Eibishter wants to do something, and he sends a shliach Moshe Rabbeinu, is it supposed to happen exactly the way I understand it's supposed to happen? Golas Mitzrayim was supposed to be a preparation for Matan Torah. For Matan Torah, there is a gili of Alechi Avaya Lekech. The ultimate frustration and the ultimate question that even a baby of Tanya has, each one of us has. I worked. I came to a terrific Avil and his battlers. And the Eibishter, B'shas HaTfilah, through my Hezbollinus, where the Nefesh of Hamis was not there, disappeared totally. I felt only the Tamuru Kitevavai, my Dveikus, my Achdus with the Eibishter. And it didn't come easy. I had to work hard for it. And I worked hard. I had this moment of ultimate isalis. And davening finishes. He's back. Again, I have to tithe. It's the ultimate frustration. I'm working. I'm not giving in a single thing. I'm fighting. I'm battling. I'm doing everything I can. Not what Machshavah Dibur Ma'is was not the way to. Everything was the way it was supposed to be. I want to feel everything the way, how you feel when you're doing that, when you connect to the David. I want to feel it. I want to be lived that. That should be my whole life. I just go up from one level to another level. Yetzor is back. Tigers are back. And he's frustrated. It's a frustration that the Alter Rebbe addresses in Tanya. And what's that? That's why you were created. When you have that, and I wrote all my ruchnis of the problem, my ruchnis, the communities, and the shameless that nature has, and what I do about it. And one of my other problems was that where the egomania comes in, that they say the Alter Rebbe wrote the Shulchan Aruch when he was 18, 20. Started writing. I wrote the cities of this place. Shav Shmaitzer wrote the Shav Shmaitzer when he was 18. Meshul Yike when he was 13, he said it Rosh, the Alter Rebbe, the Elam, and the spoil, etc., etc. Say, I can't say, I don't know the exact Rosh. Regarding all the problems that you're writing, I'm sure you have a Tanya. It's an Afteiach Yonim. Over there you find an answer to every one of your problems. And Afteiach Yonim will make it easier to find it. That was regarding all the spiritual problems. regarding my egomaniac, the Rebbe wrote over here, Holy Michos. Es wundert sich mir dein ganzer Stern. I don't understand. I was a young kid still, but that's what the way the Rebbe wrote. Es wundert sich mir dein ganzer Stern. Is the purpose of a Jew to become bigger than another Jew, to become the greatest? If the Abishah wants one person to be big in learning, he'll give him the ability for that. If he wants another person to be big in stock, he'll give him the ability for that. Everyone with his particular shlichus, he has those abilities that the Abishah gave him. And Kaidois, the purpose of a Mishnah is Kaidois HaMishnah Anina Vesi L'Shamash Eskain. I was created to serve a master for the shlichus that Abishah sent me down in this world. So what kind of approach do you have with it? Now the Rebbe added another line, just so because he probably knew me the way my mind might work. Selbstverständlich, this is only talking about Hadof. There is Tfei. But everybody is Mechuyev b'chol Taryag mitzvahs, v'Talmud Torah k'neged kulam. I won't be the biggest, I might stop learning, but that's not my task. So the Rebbe added that line also. So there is frustration. There's wants of mitzad, what's called my yeshus, there's wants which mitzad my character, there's wants which mitzad goals, etc. And I don't seem to be even living up to these goals. Chassidus brings out this point. This is one of the main emphasis of this point. B'nei B'chayim Yisrael, K'nai Yisrael v'Eveyu, like the Rebbe connects these two things. There's the revelation of the built-up attributes that he attains through his hard work. And there's those things where he's not Matzliach, he's an Aram. And Dafka over there comes the Ava Atzmus of the Eibishter. The Eibishter wants a Yid. And he loves a Yid because he's a Yid. And he gave every Yid an opportunity to do something. Is there frustration? The frustrations are part of the shlichus that I have over here from the Eibishter. Because Nachas will. But still, someone come along and say, I want to feel good about myself. So let's take a look. It's a good question. I want to feel good about myself. I want to be with Simcha. So before Rabbi Yael answered and brought out some points from the letter and minor, I'm going to say it in a little bit different words, maybe at a lower level. Tanya starts off with two questions. That's how Tanya starts off. That's the psiche of everything. Starts off with that, which obviously over there is the whole thing, what it's all about. He asks the contradiction. It's a contradiction. But then he asks a logical question. Which shows right away the importance that you have to have a question on the Maimon Chazal and the Gemara, because you know the Rebbe is always zoyer b'l'shayim. He's always very careful. There was nobody who was zoyer b'loshen nekiya and not to call names like the Rebbe. Even when it comes to the things they say hapachachayim, hapachatayv, always zoyer b'l'shayim. There's one letter where the Rebbe writes, V'lei kedas reifa elilim. I don't know how to translate that in English, except for maybe witch doctors. That say, don't worry about it, feel good about yourself when it comes to certain titles. And if wir mit Deigen, Loschen, wir in Tanja, im Loyer, Levove, Klaum is there, Yochalove, they Kalus Chas V'Sholem. Now, we know Simcha is a Yisod, but over there, the Yuchalav Hashem is Simcha to Levove doesn't write Chas V'Sholem. When it comes to Kalus, he writes Chas V'Sholem. This is also something that we have to think about. So over here's a question. So when it comes to the stira, so we all know the answer. He gives in Tanya. It's talking about, it's not when it says, don't let the Yitzhahara, the Nefesh HaBahamis, the Guf convince you that this is what I'm about. I have a Guf in the Nefesh HaBahamis. And I have work with the Guf in the Nefesh HaBahamis. And the work with the Nefesh HaBahamis has to try to overcome it. And that's the Nachas Ruach for the Eibishter. The Iskafia situation. And that's how we mamsh. And I have to relate. So not Chas v'Sholom that I'm going to be happy that I'm about Taiva. My happiness is that there is a Nefesh Elokis, and this Nefesh Elokis is always ba'amla eating his barak. And because of this Nefesh Elokis, even if Rahman al-San, somebody is a Kal Shebekalim, etc., that Kalim call him a Kal, that he's always that if somebody is sad because he has machshavas rois, when that comes to him, he said it comes from guidance, because you're properly evaluating yourself. And even by a beini, these machshavas, that's his work. These machshavas come to him, these taivas come to him, this fight is there by him. That's what the fight of the beini is all about. And in the face of Shama just guiding. And I'm me, halamai beini. So what are you sad about? That's the shlichus that you have over here in this world, to have this darkness, to have this question, to have this taiva, to have this hardship, and overcome it. But there's frustration over here. I'm supposed to strive. Everybody that strives, there's a natural inclination over here. I want to reach the goal. And in time yourself it says, one moment in your entire lifetime. How in the world am I going to come and get to satisfaction? Over here is also the same point. This is packed in time. Just because I am that what I am, with my weaknesses, and I have a fight on my hands, I have to know that the more fight I have in my hands, the more nachas ruach I'm going to bring to the Eibishter if I do what I'm supposed to do, and that is supposed to be my simcha. Am I supposed to just ignore my responsibilities or what I'm supposed to be or where I'm supposed to be just to be able to feel good? Let's take a look. Tanya, the Eitzah, in Tanya Perek Aleph, right? He starts off. How does he start off Perek Aleph? That what is a Rosh, what is a Benjamin? So he says, and he brings the mind of Chazal, Komish, Efshel, Lasma, Tebin, Eisel, Shaladosh, Rizali, Chorus to Chorus, for sure you're a Rosh. For sure. And Chazal say, and it's mentioned also, one of them is Bittul Tebin. If I'm looking for my own satisfaction, for my own perfection, there's no answer. If I realize, I didn't create myself. And the same Eibusher that created Nefesh al-Kis, the same Eibusher created also Nefesh al-Bam. And the same Eibusher, just like he wants Teiv Ha'olam, he also wants this. One of the ways of transforming this should be a dear Lo Yisbarach B'Tachteinim is through Iskafia. That way it comes through me. And then there's something that the Eibusher is going to be mashing, the Eibusher is going to help. There is something that I have to realize that goes way beyond human comprehension. The Simchas HaNefesh, the Nefesh HaLakis, the Nachas Ruach LeBeirei, Shomaiti V'Nasi Ritzayim. And that's where the Maimon Chassidus brings out this Reichkeit. Nothing else can bring this out. Nothing else brings it out. It's an approach. But then there's still that little voice in me. But all this frustration, what is good? And if I can get a quick fix, why shouldn't I get a quick fix? If I can feel good about myself, it's so important. Let me ask you a simple question. Let's make an honest evaluation. And he gives a Kodesh Simcha of Hey. He speaks about Kodesh Kiloivid of Episode. Because everything that happens in this world happens only from the Eibush. See, even if somebody, Rachmol Litzlan, Mamish, was mazik you, damaged you, hurt you, he did something really bad. Not it's a kas of a duma because I imagined something. He definitely did better. Still called a kodesh, why? Because nothing happens to me without the Eibush being kodesh. It comes from the Eibush. That's why I'm angry at him, even though that he has a problem with his bechira. That's why it went through him. But I'm angry not because of what he did, because of himself, because of his avera. I'm angry because of what happened to me. So that came from the Eibush. And therefore, what happened to me is something that has to do with me. I have to make my own calculation. Why did this happen to me? It has nothing to do with him. And if I get angry at him, that means that I'm not recognizing this truth. And that's why it's regular disorder. So here is a simple bonus that when something irritates me, for a real good reason, and it's bonus that Tanya gives you of not getting angry. Then in the world there is ways, etc. When a person gets angry, so think into it. Why are you getting angry? What are you getting angry? Is it real the anger? Is there a real reason of the anger? Or is it only outside circumstances that are causing your anger? And it makes me realize all at once how I should be able to control my anger. Oh, I finally got an Asifa for my anger. I'm a person that gets angry and irritated very easily. I got an Asifa for my anger. Why does that Eitzah help any more than what it said in the time? Let's be honest. Let's make an honest evaluation over here. Why is that helping more than what it says in Tanya? So the only difference that I can find is that according to the way it says and the way the world goes about it, etc., so what's happening over there, I have my rights. Except, since I'm a human being, I can make a mistake. So I shouldn't have gotten angry. But I still have my rights of getting angry. There's still certain things I can get angry about. It comes to Tanya, it's over here all at once. I'm losing my right. That I don't want. Where does that lead? Where does that go to? When you have something that's built only on what I feel, what I am, my right, my individuality, taking out the denominator that my main essence, my main power, my main identity, my main source of simcha is I have a shlichus from the Eibishter himself. My ultimate level that I can reach is that for the creator of the whole world, I can do something. Kabiyot. If you don't have that approach, so then Rahman al-Islam, or you may see it. If we want to deal with practicality and what we be real, or the other words you might want to use, so then Rahman al-Islam, there's a big question over here. Am I not denying the whole basis of the very foundation of what Chassidus is all about? What is the basis, one of the main ikrim that Chassidus came to carry down so that everybody should be able to relate to it, have a certain understanding in it, live with it, the concept of Achdus Havaya. Ein Mevada. And although that there's a world, and it's not a spirit because everything the Eibishter created for that purpose that he wanted to create, and he's not separated from it. And there's Hashgacha Pratis, and nothing happens without the Eibishter wanting it. And this Hashgacha Pratis goes so far, it maybe siches that even Rahman al-Islam, when somebody falls, it is also Hashgacha, so you should be able to come to even a higher madriga. Not this B'chir Berach, Chas v'sholom. That's the person's power. So those are from the very fundamental, basic concept of Emunah that Chassidus teaches us. Over here, we seem to have the ultimate contradiction and frustration possible, although Chassidus speaks about it. But if I have this attitude, I want to be real, and I want to go with what I feel, and I want to have something, so then Oyom is Mulhel and Behesed. That it's impossible to be able to live with the concept of Ein Mevada, of Hashgacha Pratis, in every single detail and prat. And that I am here, and I am living, and I'm functioning, and I'm doing something only because the Eibishter is a Mechayes Kula. And it's giving me Chayes right now. It's a Malaika. Yisrael, with all the Avot that the Eibishter has to Yisrael, gives him this opportunity, and that I can bring about a Nachas Ruach HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I have to look for another 8. When we're talking about bittul and all this, and that somehow the world doesn't like to understand, it doesn't like to accept it so much, but I have to be an entity, otherwise how am I going to function? The bittul is the ultimate yesh. Because it's only true yesh, my connection with the Eibishter. Even though it's a reality, but the reality of it is only when it functions in the purpose which the Eibishter created it.
The Rebbe said that they kochen sich in Alzet, wir kochen sich in the Simbach. The purpose of this was, don't give the Ras what it is. involve yourself in thinking and doing and evolving in learning, in davening, in Ahavas Yisrael, in Chesed. Automatically you won't be bothered. The problem a lot by today's youth is that they don't want to believe this. And when you're at today's youth life, they're obsessed with all the time. I did this, I did this, I did that, and the whole Muhammad isn't assuming it out. Breaks them and I go to the note. Or I say after the Chaton, the Quran, even if somebody is sitting over Sa'id. Even the kindness, he's the kindness, he's the kindness here, so. And the kind all because of Tzili Hashem. But we are something totally different. That's what Chassidus brings out. And we can koch sich in this different. We have Nuna Torah. We have Kiyum HaMitzvahs. We have a Kisabah Yom HaLayla. Get involved!
Even when it comes to this.
And when you get involved, so then automatically those other things will just become fall the wayside.
Not his pure berachas of shalom. That's the person's power. So those are.
You ever said that you're speaking I want Mashiach now, not because you ever said it, but because I want it. You took one. You ever said that it's 3, if 10, if 3, maybe even 1 will say because he wants it. That you should have done it. What's the meaning of I want Mashiach now? How do you ever explain it? But that means that I try, or if I it's limited. I want Mashiach now. I try to learn, I heard in the Sugya, or I heard in a minor, and it's just not like in my Mashiach now. I have frustrations, I want to be a good
and it's also talk we should be able to come to the higher. Not his pure berachas of shalom. Not his pure berachas of shalom.
It had a deep impression on me, and it was at that moment when I was very, very vulnerable to fall into that trap. I had that strength within me as Medarf Fregen. Reb Shmuel concluded the story to the Rebbe, and this is what the Rebbe responded. I also heard this story from my father, with one consent, but he understood that every experience in life is part of the divine plan. The Rebbe that he should experience every detail in his life was part of the general scheme. Volumes of insight, depth in this Maisa. The Rebbe teaches us how to say Chassidische Maisa. It's a gewaltige schöne Maisa as it is, but let's apply it. Let's take it and have the application aside for the fact that we must know. As far men nimmt und far men tut, darf men fragen. And that oftentimes, all the time, saves our lives when the Rebbe tells us to say l'charav. And the expressions the Rebbe used, when he said this bakasha nafshis, the Rebbe used an unparalleled expression. I have yet to find a way to express this desire of mine that every chassid but for lack of any better words, I am using the words bakasha nafshis. After we've responded to the essential question, I have a Rav and a Mashpia, maybe then we can begin to ask. And even then, the Rebbe's sichos are so clear, especially the sichos of the recent years, where the Rebbe tells us in Tafshin Yud that the Rebbe Alz Bavont. When we learn the sichos of Nun Aleph and Nun Beis, and we see that the Rebbe presents to us a world so clear, so pure, so beautiful, that we see Geula is in the making. And most importantly, when we say that all of this is true, but those of us who have suffered some type of life experience and abuse as a child, this is different. This is an exception. All this would be true to the perfect individual. But anybody who had any life experience, it's an exception to the rule. I need some avenue to allow me entry into the world of Chassidus because I must rid myself from the trauma, the pain, the suffering inside. For anger, resentment in our lives, anger at something in the world is anger, chas v'shalom, rachman litzlan of the Mensch. And the moment we entertain and allow ourselves to really connect to Achdus Havaya, we are free, we are redeemed. There is no resentment at all in our lives, not from today, not from the past. We see our entire life as one stretch of connection to the Mensch and durchführen the Mensch's kavanah. The Achlatas that the Vad, who organized the Kiddush, have asked that we all walk out with. And it's so self-understood, hearing from the Rabbanim and the Mashpiyim, we all know this is all an experience that was meant to happen. Appel de Kazach, Alter Rebbe writes in the Shabbat of Tanya. He speaks about Tanya as derech harucha k'tzara, but we also know there's k'tzara v'harucha. Why is K'tzara V'Arucha called a derech if it doesn't lead you anywhere? Why is it a derech? We understand derech Harucha K'tzara is a derech, it's a long journey, but K'tzara you enter into the city. But how can derech K'tzara V'Arucha be called a derech if it's a dead end? But perhaps what the Alter Rebbe is telling us in introduction to Tanya, and this must be the mood, this must be the call that we all walk out tonight united. There are those of us who in our path, in our journey of finding entry into the city, have taken roads that we thought would lead us. We thought this will bring us any closer. It will bring us happiness and salvation until we have to find that there is no other path. There is no entry. Those journeys helped us reach their path, gave us the courage to embark on the derech harucha k'tzara. It is also part of the derech. All of us tonight, if we've experienced various paths that we've been through in the past, it was only that we will recognize now to see the Eid Kitei, the Yisron Eid Min HaCheshech. We see that when we now learn about Chassidus, we verbring like Chassidus. We have a Chassidish Ahavas Yisrael. We see light years ahead, a total different world, as were all the paths that we might have been through. Let us not spend a minute, let there not be an ounce or an inch in our brain to speak about the past. We have no time. Daber el b'nei Yisrael v'yiso is a call of Moshe Rabbeinu shebenereinu. We are heading to Geula. Giyazman Golaschem is real. We got to get with the program. We have to make Chassidus real in our lives. We have to care for each other with true, genuine Chassidish Ahavas Yisrael. Mit der Warmkeit, mit der Gefühl. This will illuminate our world. This will illuminate the world not only for ourselves, but will be a light to which the entire world is looking to follow. The Rebbe's Chassidim, the Deir HaShvi, ushering us in to the Gula Amitis HaShlema. We will be united. Malkeinu B'Reisheinu, taken from Yad Kadosh.
Amen.
Rabbi Yael wanted to conclude with a few words. We please ask everyone to give your respect to Rabbi Yael. Thank you.
Klar, om mijn kinderen te zien. Vleergerecht. Papa Schach had het gerecht. Ik staan daar veel keer smarter van me. Ik was sinds geen Engels gelezen. ist das noch klar. Wer hat der Mann? Dann schwer Stoff ist. Der Mensch nicht, der Mensch hat nicht diese Druck. Was denkt die Welt? Von einer weltischen Guck und von einer materiellen Guck. Ich frage das nicht. Eine weltliche Guck in der Ehe, das hat man. Von der Mann früher. Man früher, ein Kind zu suchen. Und der hat zum Nachten suchen, der gleiche Tag. Darf aber wissen, wo zu gehen, Buddha von der Suche, Buddha von der Gefühlen. Das ist ein Parstewerte. Wir sagen nicht, was sie gehen in fremde Gärten. Was der Fuß ist klar Werte. Das ist mit ihm gegangen in fremde Gärten, was die Maschaba, aber in Seken und Laba. Bald hat man uns auf nach Lotte, der Machab war fast auf nach Lotte. Und der Asifa der Lotte. Die erste Lotte ist, der in den Augen fragt gegangen. Das ist das. Und dann gibt es fremde Gärten. Wir haben einen Garten. Wir haben einen Garten. Und der Garten ist, was nach Lotte, dann hat kein Scheißes in der fremde Gärten. Nach Lotte, ich habe was mehr war noch Sides, und was mehr dem Bremsen waren, dem Bremsiches und dem Bremsbrief. Wir lernen, dass wir wissen, dass es nicht in den Himmel war. Das ist eigentlich ein Teil Mamas. Der Rebbe sagt, Frank, zehnliche Briefe, nicht Hunderte. Zehnliche Schlüre, seine viel. Und die Schlüre, das zehnliche Brief. Ihnen haben gefragt, wie bekommt man Schalbes an der Verschwein? Antwort der Einweg. 4 Kapitäre. 4 Kapitäre, das ist weg für Schalbes an der Verschwein. Befragt nach sie. Und wir stolzieren damit. Es ist nicht der Vater zu sagen, das nur mit eins, der ist Haaren, klappt den Kopf an, verdreht den Kopf. Und tut das auch nicht klein, weil es verkehrt ist, das ist das. Wir dürfen wissen, also das ist der Spiel, und jeder erinnert vom Mund, die größte Kirche und der hat es Halt gegeben und gibt die Kirche und da war ihm zerdacht. Ich habe es einmal ausreden lassen. Doch echt das.
We also have the opportunity, after the conclusion of the formal kilos, Rav Shochat will be here to answer individual questions. Anyone can approach Rav Shochat or the Mashpiyim. Tremendous Yashakeach to the Ma'arginim. God's Chusam Asher Yechelkam to bring about our kilos. Was no Lehem, was no Lashamayim, no Le'elam, no Kinachas Ruach. And we all walk out from here with a tremendous new wave of Avos Yisrael, Chasidish Avos Yisrael, Ish Yisrael Yazegu, Lachaviyim and Chazak. As mentioned earlier, we have now this little bit of time till Chavdal Tevis. We can invest all our energies, and we must invest all our energies in creating and establishing Shiurei Chassidus in every corner, nook and cranny, whether it's Block Shiurim, Shtiblach Shiurim, not only Shabbos but throughout the week. And as Rav Shochat mentioned earlier, the Mashpiyim will all avail themselves and recognize that if they carry a light, it's something that the Rebbe is counting on them to share it, to inspire others, whether it is in giving shiurim or being there available to all of their mushpayim, giving them the direction, giving them the insight, the chizur, the chayis. It's tremendous need for the mashpiyim to avail themselves. So no child, no bacher, no younger man should think for a moment that I have nowhere to turn. In addition, there is a new initiative of Chassidus Yegi Dachgemi, a beautiful new initiative of a daily Chassidus, which is Mammon of the Alter Rebbe, the Turgim, and brought down in a very, very easy, readable fashion. This doesn't only limit to public shiurim, but each individual in German Bacher to make kriyas with achaver. This is part of the achana for Yud Shvat. Yom HaGodel, where the Rebbe wants us to make achana, to ready ourselves into hachin kulchem lekabel birchas havaya atem l'sheichem v'nechem l'seichem, and we should be zeichem that this very Yud Shvat we should all be together. Melech b'yafir techzenu einenu, the gul hamitis v'ashleima u'malkeinu b'reishenu.
Amen.